Hello there, everybody. It was quite a long weekend, wasn't it? As you are all well aware, Donald Trump dropped Operation Midnight Hammer on Iran, destroying several of their nuclear facilities. So we're going to watch Decoy Voice here do a quick little rundown. I don't believe he actually talks about the operation in here, but I'll show off the infographic after the fact, yeah? Link to the video will be in the description down below. Without further ado, let's get into it, yeah?
World War III is on everybody's mind, and rightfully so after Trump just bombed Iran, but it's also important not to fall for the fake stuff. As I keep seeing this video reposted of
True, there is so much fake nonsense online. From like fake AI generated videos to old videos, it's ridiculous.
the alleged bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities, but apparently it's just an old video from Ukraine. There's also this clip being shared everywhere, and even though it is Tehran, it's a week old. It's insane to think of, but those initial attacks were just 8 days ago, where I think I opened that video with, "I don't know how we're gonna stay out of this." As CNN showed, they're out there chanting this.
Trump administration as well. Many of them were chanting "Death to America."
And even though this video might be older, just yesterday in the same city, they were chanting the same thing. So seeing as Iran's nuclear facility Fordow has reportedly been getting closer to producing weapons-grade uranium, and even though it's a half-mile underground, our B-2s were going to do a Top Gun 2 to take them out.
If you saw the movie,
Top Gun Maverick was the plot of the movie was specifically taken from a earlier conceived operation detail on how exactly this facility would be taken out, because the U.S. has been keeping an eye on this facility and on Iran for a very, very, very long time.
the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life. It's not just one bomb, it'll be a bomb after a bomb to get through that penetration.
And that's exactly what happened, as President Trump announced they attacked Iran's 3 nuclear sites, stating, "Now is the time for peace." I saw Trump getting criticized pretty heavily online, as new wars isn't what they voted for, and how do you bomb someone then call for peace? As shortly after the attacks,
the U.S. technically isn't at war. It was a deterrent strike, like you would if you were to strike a terrorist organization or something, right?
Trump made a speech.
Massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days.
Following that up with another post stating, any retaliation by Iran against the US will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight, which has some personalities on Fox News celebrating this.
America, don't you feel relief? Of course you feel relief, because these Islamists were building nuclear weapons.
What did he say? I don't even know who this guy is.
To attack us too with intercontinental ballistic missiles. Guess what? You can go to bed peacefully tonight. No, that's not going to happen.
But sounds an awful lot like WMDs in Iraq, which resulted in years of American soldiers deployed overseas. I'm not gonna immediately panic and place Trump alongside Bush, but I'm also not gonna place blind faith in someone that I agree with 95% of the time. I just don't want us to get into another war, but I know we don't know everything Trump does. As even looking at Iranian news outlets, if you trust these translations, they say it didn't cause significant damage, or that Trump only damaged the entrance and exit to these tunnels, or that they warned the US, "We started it, but they will end it," with their social media news outlets posting about how all our bases everywhere will be burned. And I have no way of personally verifying any of these translations, and also don't really trust corporate news media anyways. As when I was refreshing the news stories here about the attacks today, I suddenly saw MSNBC trying to suggest we are now in war with Iran.
We're not. The U.S. is not at war yet. It was just a surgical strike. Also, this lady's super annoying.
But I'd ignore that, as she's the same person that said this.
That the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
So I'm still gonna approach all this with a healthy amount of skepticism, and just hope this doesn't escalate into anything more, as New York City's mayor already ordered the NYPD to increase its presence, and Los Angeles' mayor is having the LAPD step up its patrols in response to the bombings. You'd think an attack on the other side of the world wouldn't impact what happens in US cities, but maybe those sanctuary cities finally realize why their foreign residents should be properly vetted before let into the country. Don't doom scroll on social media all day when you have my concise, sometimes light order commentary on the tragic status that is today's.
I go down and look at the first comment I saw. Who thinks Newsom is gay? What a strange comment. What an absolutely strange comment. Wow. Wow. Okay. And then, of course, the next morning, Pete Hegseth and Raising Cane came out and showcased Operation Midnight Hammer, which was the name of the operation that happened. It followed 7 B-2 bombers that went over the North Atlantic and then attacked via this route. The other bombers that were sent out from the Pacific were a diversion. So this was completely secretive. The bombers went in, they engaged, and they got out, and they were not noticed whatsoever. There was no fire back and forth, nothing like that. It was just quick surgical, bam, done, and they got out. And they returned like after like 30, 32, 35 hours in the air, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. Wow.